Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have the Sunset by the Sea trio available right now from Moonshine Manny by Phoebe Moon. I'll go ahead and link her storefront and social media down below. These were sent to me for a review and I'll get right into it. So first up is Twilight Tempest, and this is described as a juicy, fiery passion fruit crelly packed with multi-chrome flakies that shift from red to copper to gold to green. These flakies will be throughout this entire trio. This is a kind of a crelly or jelly polish, so it is going to take a little bit to build up. Here's a quick look at that brush shot, and I'll show you how Twilight Tempest swatched on my natural nail. So here is the first coat. This one did go on fairly sheer, but nice and easy to work with. It wasn't too thick or too thin. You don't have to worry about those flakies at all. They're going to lay down nice and flush and spread out pretty well on their own. So here is my first coat. I'll let that dry and come back in and show you what my second coat looks like. So this one does dry down a little bit darker than it applies, but not really too much. It still stays nice and brightly pink. This second coat bumps up though to opacity and adds some depth with more of those flakies, but it still was a little bit sheer. So I'll let that dry and come back in for a third and final coat. So here's a look at my third coat. This does push it right over the edge to being completely opaque. Again, those flakies lay down nice and flush. You're not going to get a ton of texture out of this, maybe a little bit, but a good top coat will help smooth that right out. So here's a look at that completed mani before top coat at 3 coats. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. I think this polish is going to look a really awesome matte and also really pops in the shade as well. So here's a look at that swatch photo underneath artificial lighting and then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. So next up is Sundown Serenity, and this is described as a cool, calming turquoise crelly packed with multi-chrome flakies that shift from, again, red to copper to gold to green. This is my top pick of this trio. I am so in love with this polish. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Sundown Serenity swatched on my natural nail. So here is the first easy coat. Again, this does start out a little bit sheer. It is a jelly or a crelly kind of right in the middle of that type of formula. So this first coat goes on a nice and smooth, a little bit sheer. I'll let it dry and come back in and show you what my second coat looks like. So here is my second coat. I did opt to build this up with a nice thick second coat here, and this does bring this one right to the edge of being opaque. I really feel like depending on your application, you may be able to get away with just 2 coats with this one. I'm going to go ahead and let that dry and show you what my third coat looks like. I did have a little flash of nail line left, but this third coat for sure brings this one completely opaque. This one does have a bit more of an opaque finish than the first one and even the next one. So here's a look at that completed mani before top coat. Again, this does dry down fairly flush. A good top coat will smooth out any of those flakes that are near the top of the polish though. So here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo underneath artificial lighting. And then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. This really looks like a type of gemstone to me, almost a turquoise stone, very pretty. So next up is Eventide Embrace, and this is described as a vibrant, comforting amethyst crelly that is packed with multi-chrome flakies that shift from red to copper to gold to green. So this one is also opaque in 2 to 3 coats. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot. And I'll show you how Eventide Embrace swatched on my natural nail. So here is that first easy coat. I did go in for a little bit of a thicker first coat here, but it is still a little bit sheer. Nice and easy to work with though, no problems at all. I'll let that dry and come back in and show you what my second coat looks like. So here's a quick look at that second coat. This one does dry down a little bit deeper than it applies as well, but it's still a nice vibrant light lavender almost. So here is this second coat. It does build up that opacity and add some depth, but I did have a little flash of nail line. Depending on your nails, you may be able to get away with just 2 coats though. So here's a look at my third and final coat, and this one just for sure brings this one completely opaque. It also evened out my areas around my cuticle line. I'm going to go cap the tip, and here's a look at that completed mani before top coat. Again, almost super glossy finish with maybe a little bit of texture peeking out. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo underneath artificial lighting. And then finally at an angle in that direct sunlight. So that wraps up my swatch and review of the Sunset by the Sea trio. These are available all together for $30 or at $11 a piece. If you'd like to see more photos, I do have those available on my blog at sloppyswatches.com, or you can follow me on Instagram at sloppyswatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.